Previously.
Enforced by hounds, apparently. Is this Ramsey Bolton?
Soon.
That there's a disconnect in this case. That's right. I've gone through puberty, but my voice still cracks. Deal with it. Screw all of you. Yeah, I know. I mean, presumably, because he says it automatically that they can't help him. Presumably, they actually won't in the game, but yeah, exactly. How could you know? I mean, I guess they could all be fairy tales or something, but how do you know that stuff like here isn't somehow tied to a fairy tale, or there's a fairy tale that provides some explanation for things or something? I don't know, right? That's go upstairs. What's over here?
This door leads nowhere. The lower floor of the old wing of the castle is behind it. The entrance has been walled up for years.
Ah. Leads nowhere for now, you mean? Who knows what will happen later? Okay. Are there still people in the dining room? I might want to talk to them tonight before going upstairs. Potentially to go to bed or something. We were just in the dining room. There's the kitchen. There's the backyard. Let's look at the kitchen and the whatever might be beyond it. He's lazy. Yeah, right? They do such a good job with this. Yeah. Yeah. Important not to act too rashly in the moment, because even if you think, hey, I finally get that, often means problems for you later. Punishment of various types, right? Jail time and such.
I don't need anything from here.
Okay.
Various kinds of spices and cooking ingredients. I'm not going to make a mess out of it for Bates. There's some dirty water at the bottom. Maybe there were flowers in it once.
There's some dirty water in it at the bottom. How dare the vase have dirty water?
Probably the cellar key. I'll leave it here. Bates might need it. Probably the cellar key. I'll leave it.
That's the same. Both of those? They both the same?
Probably this. I'll leave it here.
Then, so that was the left key for sure, and this is the right key.
Probably.
Yeah, okay. So I guess you could only grab one of them or something.
This is where Bates makes all the meals. He's a very good cook. At least I won't go hungry.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that the voice actors did a bad job. I'm just saying that there's a disconnect in this case. That's right. I've gone through puberty, but my voice still cracks. Deal with it. Screw all of you. There's a disconnect between the voice actor not knowing in what way it is intended to be read, and so reading a variety of ways and then providing those as samples to the requester. And then the requester, whether it's a game developer, whether it's an actor for an animation or something, whatever it might be, not being familiar enough with English so they don't catch nuances like that strike a native speaker as odd. I think that's more what's going on here. It's not that the voice acting is poor. It's not that they couldn't find a better voice actor. There are some games I played that have that problem, but that's not the case here, I don't think. I think it's just a question of not being a native speaker, so not understanding what expression in the voice would make sense here. Okay, so he said that's where where Bates prepares the meals. What else? Small grinder.
Spice grinder. The dining table of the servants. A dirty coffee mug. There's a big B on its side. It probably belongs to Bates.
I don't know that there's really much more in here to examine. Already looked at the grinder and the cooking range. Alright, then this is to the cellar. But I cannot go right now.
The door is locked.
You don't want to take the key, so...
Probably the cellar key. I'll leave it here. Bates might need it.
So I assume at some point we'll get the key from there and go into the cellar, but I guess not right now. This would be, I think, to the backyard, but I think we also have an exit from over here. So I think it's one side of the backyard and the other side, but I'm not totally sure. I think this is where, not exactly, but this is the general, around the general time when we ended, when we streamed on Halloween. So we're more or less caught up now, although it took me forever to set things up because of the display issues. Stable.
This is where the oldest trees grew. Victoria loved them so much. And this is what's left of them.
Dirty water. Struck a nerve we didn't see. Dirty, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I obviously don't know the whole history of development on this game or anything. I'm just saying that's a very possible explanation. So I'm going to just accept it as being decent. It is good. I mean, for what it's expressing. A little out of place, perhaps, feeling...
The rear path is completely blocked by bushes. I have to go around.
Oh, so I suppose I go from this side over here around, because I can't really go back farther that way. Okay. That's fine.
Its water used to be crystal clear. I'll tell Henry to clean it up. It can't stay this dirty. It's water.
Okay, that's the same.
The fallen tree has surrounded it completely. There's no way to reach it.
Oh no! Heavens to Betsy! Heavens to Murgatroyd even! There's no way to reach the bench! Oh dear! I don't think there's anything else to examine over here. We go back to the dining room, or we'll go to the side. The right wing, because that's what we did before. This will get us roughly the same progress we had previously. Garden, dead tree. Let's do that. Not as much walking. But summer house first.
I used to play in it when I was a little kid. Back then, it wasn't so stagnant and neglected.
Okay. Okay, now we'll look at the dead tree, I guess.
It must be centuries old. It invokes a rather queer feeling in me.
That goes back to the kitchen. Yeah, so this is going to be... That far door is where we came one side, and then we went back to the kitchen. This was the other exit, so that makes sense. That's how that whole loop works, I think. In here.
One of the several large rocks in the garden. No one knows how they got here.
Follies. I think something like that, but I'm not totally sure. I would tab and look it up, but every time I tab, it does like the graphic thing. In fact, actually, if you want to look that up now, you've got to set, because I'm going to go use the restroom really fast. I'll be right back. I quite like them. Yeah. Yeah, they're nice. French word that means silly. Ah. Yeah. Yep. Good job, Somni. I thought it was right. I'd never really used the term, but it did sound right when you said that. I just wasn't totally sure. It's funny, too, because I'm a writer. You'd think I'd know that, but I've never had cause to use it, so I'm sure I probably learned it at one point, but I've since forgotten. So now I'll try to remember that. Oh, also, there was a word I recently was reminded of again that I had forgotten. What was it? It's, muskeg. Muskeg is the word. Think of it like a musky, like a musk, like the animal, or musky, like the scent. Musk, and then egg, E-G. Almost like the baby bird, but it's one G. Muskeg. Nope, but that was a good guess. Heath was a good guess, but that was not the one I was looking for. Muskeg is the one. M-U-S-K-E-G. Yep, it's not exactly a moor, but it's kind of like a moor. It's similar. That's back to the front. It was down these stairs was the gardener or whatever, right? I think so. Go down here and talk to him. Oh, yeah. Yep. M-U-S-K-E-G, like I said. I just, for some reason, was spacing on the word, which is, like, funny, because it's like, I was reminded not too long ago of what that word meant when I had forgotten it, because I hadn't used it for years. And then I'm like, and by the way, now I can't remember how you spell the word. Yeah. Muskeg is the word I was meaning. Yep. Main gate. Oh, so this is like heading away from the manor. Makes sense, because we had gone down the stairs and we're around the side now, but...
The smoke from the leaves smells nice.
That's all to the greenhouse. So it's upstairs, the greenhouse, or the main gate. Let's talk to Henry while we're here. Actually, let me see if we just get to the main gate or if there's anything on the sides of the main gate besides here. Back to the castle. Another menhir. Menhir are...
I'd be interested to know where these stones came from.
I think, if I remember right, menhir are more or less like the stones at Stonehenge. Like, used for some kind of purpose previously, probably some occult purpose, some religious purpose or some such, but nobody really knows their purpose. And they clearly were human crafted, not naturally occurring.
The main gate is usually closed, as it is today.
To the Black Mirror Manor. What? Back to the castle. So this is back to Henry, or is the other way back to Henry? That's back to Henry. So what's the manor then? Is this just gonna like another way to get to back inside or something?
I have no reason to leave.
So that's leaving? To the Black Mirror Manor is leaving. Interesting. Okay, so at some point I guess that'll be an additional location. We're in chapter 1 of the game, so perhaps that's something we get to when we hit chapter 2, or even later in this chapter, for all I know. Okay, let's speak with Henry. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. My name is Henry. I take care of the garden. It's not an easy job. I don't have anyone to help me. But you probably wanted to speak about something else, sir. What can I do for you, sir?
I would just like to ask a few questions.
William, the fountain. Okay, let's ask him about himself, I guess, first. Sure.
How long have you been working here, Henry?
About a year, sir.
The garden seems rather deteriorated. Everything used to blossom around here, but now...
I'm trying hard, sir, but I can't get everything done just by myself. This garden is really a lot of work, sir.
True.
Why doesn't anyone maintain the rear garden?
I don't know, sir. Probably because nobody ever goes there.
And what about the fountain? There used to be fish in it once. I have no problem with the rear garden as such, but I want you to clean the fountain.
But, sir, isn't that rather futile? I mean, it can't even be seen from the front. It's going to be a lot of wasted work.
Either you clean it by tomorrow, or you can start looking for a new job.
As you wish, sir.
Jeez. Okay, I mean, I get you're an aristocrat, so apparently that also means you're a douchebag. Jeez, he's harsh. Hey, Brian, welcome back. Sorry about the problem before. I had to reboot my machine. Everything locked up, so sorry about that. I know. Yeah, our guy apparently is not exactly a kind man.
Tell me, Henry, what did you think of William?
I didn't really know him, sir. I'd scarcely seen him.
You have worked here every day and you hardly saw him?
Well, you see, Sir William wouldn't go to the garden very often, and I only do what Madame Victoria tells me. Bates was the only one allowed in his study. He wouldn't let anyone else in.
Is there anything else you can tell me about him?
I don't really feel like talking about him with you.
Why not?
How would I put it? Everyone reckoned he was a bit of a loony. You know what I mean.
Go on.
I don't really want to talk about it with you, sir. Please ask someone else.
What does that mean? Why would anybody perceive William as mad? I will leave you to your work.
Somni Monmouth, that's exactly right. I don't... Unfortunately, I don't control whether our character is a douchebag, so apparently he'll just say crap for no reason other than being full of himself. Because he's an aristocrat, I guess he feels like he's superior or something. Bags.
They're full of leaves. Henry has plenty of work taking care of the garden.
A fish or two.
All those leaves will get burnt in the end.
I don't know if that pond has not been maintained, the fish probably died long ago, I would guess. But I don't know, obviously.
It looks like blood. Is this possible, though?
Jeez. Somni, at least, if any of anybody, other you others might also know this or whatever, remember this, but of anybody, I would expect at least, and I'm not saying you need to have seen this Somni either, but of everybody, I would expect at least Somni would have the highest chance of having seen. Have you seen Fargo? This totally reminds me of that one line. Is that your friend in the wood chipper? I don't think you can analyze this, really. Faux Fox would, I think, also know. I'm pretty sure she's seen it. That movie was hilarious, dude. There's so much funny in that. Like, yeah, we saw the license plate starts with DLR, so we're gonna start looking. Whoa. Are you saying the license plate had DLR on the front of it? Yeah, with smaller letters, but I'm pretty sure that means those are dealer plates. Oh, yeah, sure, yeah, that makes more sense now. That's so funny.
The wood is ready to go into the grinder.
That's somewhere we'll probably go, if we cannot go now, at least later. Presumably. Staircase, which I think is just back where we talked to Henry, right? Yeah, it's gotta be. There's nowhere else to exit other than the greenhouse. Okay, let's see what's in the greenhouse, if we can.
The door is locked.
I don't have a key. Wait. Yeah, it's my room. Okay, so for now, that's it, I guess. I don't think... We'll get in the greenhouse at some point. This is going to be like Scratches, kind of, right? Where I got to find the crap first, and then later on we can get into the greenhouse or whatever. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. Those two younger girls that were effectively ready to sleep with almost anybody. The things they said, you're like, I think I lost brain cells hearing you talk. Yeah. Main entrance. Again, I don't know if the main entrance is going to put us somewhere we've not yet been. Main entrance might also be just the front area before you go into the entrance hall or something. Not sure. Fargo was a great film. So good. Yeah, Coen brothers are amazing. Burn After Reading. I remember that, but I think I only saw the trailer. I don't actually think I saw the film. Yeah, I'd remember it more. Coen brothers are so memorable. Their films are so memorable. I totally would remember if I'd seen it. So I guess I must not have. Interesting. Yeah, I definitely need to check that out then. Burn After Reading. I don't know why I haven't watched more Coen brother films. I've seen multiple, but okay, anyway. To the stable. Oh, right, because we could not get to the stable from the other side, so we'll try from this side. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Twin Peaks kind of lost the forest for the trees a bit as you went too far into it, but it was definitely high quality in general terms. Very odd.
This is the
but
place where William took his last breath. I won't leave before I find out the truth.
Okay, to the stables. Well,
It's dry. No one has taken water from it in a long time.
I feel like this family has a long tradition, clearly from that tome we read, and that they, at one point, and I'm not talking about comparatively these still do, but at one point I feel like they were really well off, like things were going really well for them, but things have clearly deteriorated over time where they cannot afford, or they either cannot afford, or they've just failed to acquire new servants or enough servants, so they have a very limited number of people helping them. They have this gentleman here who I'm assuming is a combination of the person taking care of the stables, but also doing some other chores, like here he's chopping wood, of course. And then you have Henry down below, who the one guy taking care of all of the garden is just obviously way too much. You have Bart inside, who's, the cook / butler / whatever else. So yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So you start to run out of ideas as you do that. Yeah, that's very possible. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen more meaningful stuff out of Twin Peaks, not just some meaningful and some just weird that they ended up doing, but that's okay. Still a good show in general, I think. Just there were a lot of problems with it. Yeah, exactly, Monmouth. I think the money's just run out here. Like you said, maybe they are. Yeah, a lot of them died in the war. Maybe that was the cause. Maybe they had taken certain
My
financial.
name is Samuel Gordon. You are Morris, the groom, aren't you?
Maybe they made certain financial decisions that were poor decisions.
Yes, sir. I know who you are. Bates told me about you.
Bates was.
I
his
would
name.
like to ask you about something, Morris. The gardener, what is he like?
Henry? A quiet type of person, I'd say. As long as he's sober, that is. You know what I mean.
I was unaware of his drinking.
You can bet on it, sir. When he's in the mood, he closes himself in his room and drinks until he can't lift his head. Usually he just sits there, staring at nothing and drinking. I'd say that is quite odd, isn't it?
Odd indeed. He does not seem like a drunkard to me.
Well, you can trust me, and you're bound to see for yourself anyway.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate the sentiment. Have a good night, sir. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. See ya. Yeah. Yep.
Poor Spider.
This freaking boy. Oh, that's so sad.